Moshe Rabbeinu became Moshe Rabbeinu when Hashem chose him. And we all know the story of the Medrash. It was a Shepsela. He had sheep. I don't know how many sheep were in his chever, in his classroom. He had a whole bunch of sheep, and one sheep ran away. So what happens? He runs away. Okay, so we lost a sheep. Crazy kid has ADD, ADHD. What are you going to do? No, Moshe Rabbeinu goes running after the sheep. He runs and runs and runs, and he sees that this little sheep goes ahead and he's drinking. So the Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu stops, right? And what happened when we were kids and we broke away from the line on the way to the lunchroom and we went to the fountain, to the water fountain? You know, you got like that hand on your neck, you know, you're not allowed to drink now. Did anyone else get that? It was just me, right? It was like, hey, get back in here. There's no drinking now. Moshe Rabbeinu stops. He goes, oh, I didn't realize. I didn't understand. I thought you're just bad. I thought you just, you know, everyone else knew what to do. Everyone else followed, and you just ran away. I was going to give you tzvai petch. I was going to punish you. But I see, tzameyata. I see you're thirsty. Oyefata, you're tired. So he goes ahead and he apologizes to the sheep. He said, I should have known. I had lunchtime, and I had milk and cookies, and next drinking, I had a drink period, but you needed more. You weren't feeling so well. You had an additional need, a special need, and I should have known, but I expected you to behave like everybody else. And when you couldn't, I got angry at you, and I ran after you to grab you back, but now I see I was wrong. You are right. You're thirsty. You're tired. Nebuch, I feel so bad that I didn't provide you with what you needed, and you had to break rank in order to get what you needed. Instead of thinking of the sheep, an animal, as bad, he was dan l'kav schus, an animal. And then he said, you shouldn't have to walk all the way back. I'm going to carry you. He put the sheep on his shoulders, and he carried him back to the classroom. Baskol comes out from Shamayim, a heavenly voice, and says, I want you to be the Royeh of Klal Yisrael. You're that type of shepherd. You got the job to be Royeh Neman of Klal Yisrael. That's how Moshe Rabbeinu got the job to be the shepherd of Klal Yisrael. Not because he cared about the 99% who behaved. Not because he built the best school and gave the best lunches and everything. No. It's because when that kid ran away, right? He went ahead to look at the kid and say, what's wrong with this kid? And realize that he needs more attention. He's hungry. He's thirsty. We have kids come to school. They can't behave. There's a reason. Something's bothering them. Some kids are hungry. Some kids, they don't get breakfast in the morning from their parents. Some kids are up at night because people are keeping them up, or parents are screaming or fighting or whatever it is. There's a need. It's how you look at those who are struggling. If Moshe Rabbeinu would have let that kid go, he wouldn't have been chosen to rescue us. With all of the godless of Moshe Rabbeinu, it's not good enough. You can't be a Royeh of Klal Yisrael. You can't be a Rebbe. You could be the biggest Kaddish Vitar, but a Royeh you wouldn't get. The Baskol came out specifically when he went ahead and he chased down that kid who was not behaving. He understood something's bothering it. He apologized to it, and he carried it. That's what you're doing. You have kids who behave. Some of you have some kids who behave, right? And great. Those are the ones we love. We have yeshivas with some kids who behave. We feel so chashuv. We're the biggest Rosh Yeshiva and top yeshiva, and kids behave. But that's not what makes us leaders. A leader is someone who chases those who struggle, who cares about them and carries them back. As many times as they run away. They realize they're running for a reason. And if a sheep could be running for a reason, our kids could be running for a reason. There's always a reason. You don't need to know it when you trust it. The sheep couldn't talk. He figured it out. You may not know what it is, but they're running. There's a reason. None of our kids are leaving Yiddishkeit going to a destination. They don't have anywhere to go. A club is not a lifestyle, and all this other stuff is not a lifestyle, and weed is not. Nobody left and said, you know what, I have a much better way. Instead of going to high school, I think much happier life would be to drop out and smoke weed. I've met a lot of people who are 40 and they're very successful in that lifestyle. No. Look at the people who did it 2 years ago and 5 years ago and 10 years. They're all undoing it and going to rehabs and coming back. Nobody's leaving us because they have a destination. They're leaving us because it's too hard to be here. Something's pushing them out. We saw on September 11th, Rachmana litzlan, we saw healthy people jumping out of windows. They knew they were going to die, but they couldn't stay inside for one more second because it was too hot. They couldn't breathe. They were choking. We have kids who are choking, who feel like they're suffocating. They can't dress. They can't behave. They can't, the whole thing, they can't do it. We need to catch them. We need to apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't know you're in pain. I'm sorry I hurt you, or I let other people hurt you, or I'm sorry that you're in pain. You're my responsibility. And then we need to carry them. And when we do, we can save them. We could be their Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's what a leader is. A Jewish leader is not who could teach the most Torah. Jewish leader is not who's the most holy for himself. It's somebody who can see everybody and see what they're lacking, and instead of looking down at them, realize that they're struggling, apologize to them for the fact that we didn't make you feel comfortable. If, we see kids here struggling, we see parents, everyone, families, everybody struggling. If Mashiach would be here, we wouldn't be struggling. Why is Mashiach not here? That's our fault, us adults. Every door that Mashiach is not built, it's our fault. It's our fault. If it wasn't built, it's like it was destroyed. So we're in deep, deep, deep galus, and then the next generation is suffering, and then we get angry at them. We got to get ourselves out of this mess, and we're partly responsible for it. Nebuch, what this next generation is suffering with, unbelievable, unbelievable pain, unbelievable. Darkness, chayshech, bilbul, terrible, terrible things. You are their Moshe Rabbeinus. Why? Because you're going to go and say, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had needs. There are things that you needed, and you're going to carry them back until they're all the way back to be a part of the family. And chas v'shalom, to reject them, it's so foolish, it doesn't work. Those people who are rejecting kids have much more struggles than we do with our kids. They're doing all that crazy stuff our kids aren't doing. Because our kids are welcome at home. They have a mom and dad that stop judging them and apologize to them, carrying them, being there for them. You get the best out of the situation. Be'ezus Hashem.